Same again. A few boys bitching out because they're scared to compete against who's the best. There's a couple of guys that should be there that aren't there that have pulled out. They can give whatever excuse they want, but that's what it is. It's an excuse. If you want to be Ireland's strongest man, if you want to be a pro strongman, nothing else should be coming first. I don't care what it is.
Welcome to Irish Strength, and we're on the build-up to the biggest competition this year, which is official Strongman's Ireland's Open Championships. And I'm pleased to be joined by Matthew McKeegan, who's competing on the day. Thank you very much for joining me, Matthew.
No problem, Mark. Thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to promote the show with you.
So you've been on the scene for quite a while now. You're one of the best-known athletes in Ireland. You've competed internationally. But this route that is now being created to Giants Live and then on to World's Strongest Man, how important is that, and how excited are you for this route?
Oh, man, it's amazing. Obviously, this route was there. This route was there when I just first started Strongman. So to think I'd be one of the guys that go and to compete at this now is it's humbling and it's crazy. But man, see this, not this comp as such, but see to win this comp to get the Britain's Strongest Man. That means more to me than probably winning OSG this year, if I'm honest, as a 105. If I got the Giants Live, Britain's Strongest Man, I'm telling you, if I got there, which I truly believe I can, nothing would wipe a smile off my face that night. That's like a dream come true to be on the Giants Live stage, especially. Like I think for me as a 105 athlete, I think it would make for great viewing for someone of my size to be there. And imagine you could go on there and hold your own for some of the events. It would be a great spectacle, I think.
This was actually, I wasn't going to get to them straight away, but this is actually one of the questions that came in from somebody where they were wondering, how are you feeling about the difference in body weight? Obviously, you are an under 105 athlete. Most of the rest of these guys, some of them are up to 160 kg, that sort of range. How are you feeling? Is it something that plays on your mind, or does it not really?
Not within Ireland, because I'm 100% as strong, if not stronger, than a lot of the lads statically. I'm working very, very hard and being better at the yoke. Once a yoke gets to a certain weight, at 100% is harder for a smaller athlete. But that being said, there's other 105s that are amazed at yoke. It's just not like once the yoke gets past like 380, 390 for me, it does become hard. But last week in training, I did 400 for the comp distance up and down in like 20 something seconds. So that was good. I was happy with that. But the body weight thing, mate, it doesn't bother me at all. Not within Ireland. Once you go to Britain's Strongest Man and Giants and stuff, for someone like I struggled to get past 110. Like I've been trying to put on a bit of weight for this comp, and it's fucking not been happening. Once you're competing against the big guys like Luke and Tom, and I'm not even sure the body weight does matter, but they're just stronger. They're bigger guys. They're just stronger. I think it all comes down. You look at Novikov and like Cardiac and stuff. There's some of these other guys that are coming through now that aren't as heavy or aren't as big. But if you want to compare the way I would look at them, man, like Novikov is still like 135 kilos. That's a big fucking guy. And bear in mind that's 135 kilos of muscle. So if you want to compare Novikov to one of the other guys that's maybe 160 or 170, they've probably got the same amount of lean muscle mass. The other guys are just fat. So, and for me, body fat is not beneficial to anybody at all. Maybe it'll help you pull like a fucking lawyer stuff, but for the way Giants Live set up, I don't think being lighter would hinder someone that much. Not that much.
There is that sort of, there's always a plus and a negative where the idea of mass moves mass does come into it a little bit. But at the same time, if you're bigger and carrying excess fat, you're going to be slower on the moving events. So, yeah, there's a trade-off there.
It's swinging and roundabouts. Like if you look at Ultimate Strongman, like the setup of their events, those old school big brute ignorant events definitely suit like a bigger man. Because I remember a couple of years ago in Bangor, like me and Killian and a few other guys was neck and neck. Like I think I might have been ahead of Killian. I can't remember until the car roll, and I had the car flipped once, and Killian was fucking finished. Do you know what I mean? So times like that, the bigger man's going to succeed because he's got more weight to put through something. But it's not something I think about. I'm 100%. I'm not naive enough. I believe I can win Irish strongest man 100%, but I'm not naive enough to think I can go to Britain's and win or podium. But I also think I would go and not do terrible. I think depending on the events, I think I could definitely hold my own and not look like I don't belong to be there kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
And you back in, God, I don't even know the year. I know you did try to go up in the weight for UK. And I know you weren't happy with that at all. You weren't happy with the results. You just didn't feel right. Would you, I know you say you're putting on a little bit of weight for this. Would you try and go back to that 120 or was that just enough for you?
Well, 120. Hold your tongue. It was only 114.
There's sorry.
That's that infamous picture that the gear keeps sharing around fucking Instagram. Me looking proper fat. That's a bad picture, by the way. Do you want to know what, Mark? See, like the past, obviously being an athlete nutritionist, I've gained so much more knowledge now since then on how to approach like a nutrition to get heavier without getting fat. And for me, like body comp wise, back then, I didn't start the bulk and the best position to start bulking. I was really sort of not lean, not fat, but not lean at the minute. Like I started adding food in now when I was very lean, like 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I shit you not, I'm eating between like 6,000, 8,000 calories a day. And I've only gained 2 kilos in over a month. It's fucking, I'm just such a busy, it's not even the same on my feet a lot. Like I'm a very busy person, like my mind and just always thinking about it and just always busy. Like even going to bed, like I'd be lying there trying to go to sleep and mad stuff just pops into my head. Like fucking, isn't it mad that the trees start to fall off leaves in autumn and they're brown, but then they're green. Maybe they're flat. Just, really active mind thinking about crazy shit.
So saying that, how has your training and prep gone for this? Because for instance, with that, if you're always thinking, does that affect you for such a big competition?
No, and another coach said something on this on their Instagram today about like the difference between like elite level athletes, and you'll notice this at comps. If you go to novice comps, the guys that think they're really good but are just starting out, like they're the arrogant guys that have all the gear. They're serious all day. They don't talk. They're all hyped up and this and that. Whereas an elite level athlete can go from having fun between events, having some banter, then when it's time to go, it's time to go. The switch gets flicked. I'm the same in the gym. So see, what my life could be falling down around me outside the gym, but see when it's go time, it's go time. So that doesn't distract me at all. I focus a lot on recovery. Even though I've got a busy mind, I do sleep well. To be fair, I sleep well. This has been a very busy season for me. And my last comp in Germany, I felt really tired and really fatigued. So we've worked hard and have me recovered. And to be honest, I feel great at the minute. Like I think that the extra food and stuff's definitely helping. But I feel really strong at the minute. I feel really conditioned. I have no injuries. I'm at a good headspace. Life's good outside of the gym. So things are good, man. I feel really good. Training's going brilliant.
Because, and I don't want to delve too far into it. I like to keep this as light as possible. But you have had some upheaval in life in general recently.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you've sort of got past, you've put behind you now, and you have been able to focus on the training a little bit more?
You want to know what? Even like as I just said, see, no matter what, I don't know how to do it. Like even I did back to when my father sadly committed suicide. 10 days later, I was able to go and win Britain's Strongest Man under 105. There's been other times. There's been crazy events that's happened outside the gym, and I was able to go and do well. Before I went to Czech Republic, I had a really, what's the word you want to use? Like a tumultuous, what's the word? Tumultuous or fucking really hectic thing that happened. I don't know what the word is. I'm not smart enough. And I still went to Czech Republic, put that behind me, came second. So no matter what's going on outside in personal life or business, when it comes to When it's go time, it's go time, and I don't. Nothing will alter my mindset. You will not get inside my head. Nobody will distract me. There's nothing you could do or say or anybody could. There's nothing. There's not a thing on this planet that can. If I'm competing, I'm competing, and I don't give a fuck about anything else. I've been through a lot of shit, and it's never distracted me once, and it's not gonna start doing it now. You know what I mean?
Now, how like you've sort of answered it there. The mentality side of things. Is it important to have? Do you rely on other people for that to come in and sort of help you with that, or is it just your own mentality that you rely on?
I've been this way for a long time, to be fair. And like trying to manifest things and just speak to myself, speak to your higher self, and just tell yourself every day that you are who you are. You're strong. You're the best in the world. You're Ireland's strongest man. And it's talking about having these things in the present sense. Because if you try and ask the universe or tell the universe things that, like, let's say I want to be Ireland's strongest man, so you're putting that manifestation out there to the universe, to an infinite timeline. So the universe could say, right, you'll be Ireland's strongest man in 300 years time. Whereas if you tell yourself, I am Ireland's strongest man, I am Ireland's strongest man, it'll happen. It will fucking happen if you put the work in. Where I got this from, I've told this story a few times on the podcast. My first proper like major comp was like Body Power 2019, I think, or 18, maybe 18, because COVID, 2018. And me and my wife were going to collect Jackson, our son, from creche. Jackson's only like one and a half at the time. And the engine light came on in the car. We drove a C-Class Mercedes at the time. The engine light came on. I was like, fuck, that's weird. But anyway, we got to the creche. Marina would usually stay in the car, and I would just go and get Jackson. For whatever reason that day, she decided to come out of the car and speak to the staff. I go to get Jackson. We were leaving that night for Birmingham. My gym bag that was in the boot, passports were in the glove box, all the cash in her handbag. Everything basically was in this car. So I go to get Jackson. It's like 100 yards away from the car, and I go back out with Jackson in my arms, and some lady says, your car's on fire. I said, how the fuck's my car on fire? I couldn't see any fire. So I looked under the car. It was a wee ball of flames about that size. The car was on fire. By the time I ran back, no joke, 50 yards, the car just erupted in flames. So see, like in all 3 seconds, me and Jackson would have been incinerated, burnt alive. And I was like, oh my God, all my stuff's in the car. The first comp, or SPD was sponsoring the comp. The winner get a sponsorship with SPD. There's loads of opportunities came in this comp, and I was like, this is unbelievable. So anyway, the fire brigade put the fire out, and then the car was obliterated. There's not even a seat left in it. So popped the boot open, gym bags in the boot mark, not a mark on it. Not a, swear to fuck, not a mark. I was like, you were shitting me. Gym bag comes out, so open. I says, the boy, the fireman, I can't open the glove box. That's where the passports and the tickets was. Marina's passport come out, not a mark on it. Mine come out a wee bit burnt, but was still usable. And then her handbag was on the floor with I think cash or something on it. And the handbag was fucking melted. But the guy was able to like pry it open, and all the stuff inside it, not a mark on it. And I was like, if I've ever had some sort of calling from a higher power, this is it. And see, that weekend then, it was the first time I was able to get in that do your die zone. See, that weekend, I said to Marina, I said, see if Hafþór Björnsson, Eddie Hall, I don't care who's here, I will beat them all. I won every event. I won that comp by a fucking mile. And the thing, that the mindset I had before that, and I don't use this mindset now, but it was just like the gratitude I had to still be there, because I was like, me and my son could be dead. So I'm here. I will compete like I've never competed before. And that's when I found this like switch inside. I was like, and you really just turn that on for comp day, and from then I think I won like 13 comps straight, and that's when I got to that's when I started qualifying for Clash and stuff. It was just a snowball effect, and that's when I got that real like killer mentality, and I really started to believe in myself. I was like, I will achieve all the things I think I can achieve, and I will talk about it openly. People will think I'm arrogant. I don't care. I've done all the things I said or ever do, and I've more of the things that I will say I do. People will think it's arrogant or whatever, but you have to speak to yourself in that positive way. You have to believe in yourself. And do you want to know what? People will say, oh, who does he think he is, or who does she think she is? people don't like people speaking in that way about themselves because they don't speak about themselves in that way. So it's about mentality in sports. Mentality in anything is key, but see, in sports, if your mind's not locked in, you will go nowhere. You have to believe in yourself, and you cannot let outside energy affect what's inside you, because the only thing that controls you is what's in here. Everything else outside, you can't control that, so don't let that in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean, where, you know, you can only believe in yourself. No one else is going to do it. So you have to just push yourself and believe in yourself to the last.
Yeah.
What you said there, and again, like I say, I try to keep these light, but it's quite interesting chatting to you. So there has obviously, within the Irish scene, there has been a few, I don't know what you would sort of phrase it as, button heads, I suppose, with certain athletes. And we won't name athletes or anything, but do you feel that it all comes down to that, where you are quite vocal with about your abilities, and that some people just don't agree with that, or is there other things behind it?
There's other things behind it with some other lads and even females that I'll not talk about, because I wouldn't even give the people the time of day, especially some of the. I wouldn't give them the time of day. But as for within the sport itself, I have dominated this country and Britain in the 105 scene for 2 years. This year alone, I went with Strom Cup. Everybody said this guy would win, that guy would win. I won. The qualifier for ultimates, everybody says this guy would do this, this guy would do that. I won. Won the 105s. Won Britain's Strongest Man 2 years in a row. Been the highest placing athlete from Ireland in the 105s at OSG. Went to Clash and podiumed around the world, and people in Ireland still seem to chat shit. I think the issue is they don't like seeing someone doing so well because they're not doing well. Whereas I am the opposite of that. For example, my client Nick Hine, me and Nick both compete at 105. We have competed against each other 4 times now. Nick's won twice. I've won twice. When Nick wins, if Nick beats me, I am delighted for Nick. Nick's a good friend of mine. I coach him. So if someone else beats me on the day, I don't care who you are. Respect. I will give you respect. Even if I don't like you, I will give you respect. And I think that's where some other people lack as sportsmen and sportswomen, is having respect for someone who's achieved certain things. And I am quite happy to say I've achieved a lot. I've achieved probably more than anyone in this country has, apart from someone like Pa. There's nobody else has done the things I've done. And people don't like that. And that's just that. That's just that. Whereas if I see someone else do well from this country, for anybody, well done, respect, because I know how hard it is to be there. To win, winning's not easy. Traveling around the world and competing all the time and placing top 3, it's not easy. So if I see someone else do it, well done, respect. See the people that hate on people like that. Do you ever notice, Mark? The people that do the hating on people that won are people that don't win. They never won. And that's why they hate. And when they have that mentality and they focus so much on someone else, they'll never win. I couldn't give a fuck what anybody else is doing. And that's why I do well, because I'm focused on me. All I care about is me. Even when it comes to comps, I don't care who's competing against me. I believe I'll beat you on the day. If you beat me, I'll shake your hand, even if I don't like you. Respect. And that's all you can do. You can just keep competing. Do your best. If you're best enough to win, it is. If it's not, go home, try harder on the next time. But I think that's what it boils down to, is the way then people look at themselves is a reflection of how they look at others. If someone can't be happy to see someone else succeed, regardless of what they think about them, that's a reflection of them, not a reflection of the person who's doing well.
Getting back to the actual comp that's coming up, Kyle, who is one of your clients, he's actually competing against you. So how is that dynamic? I was chatting to Kyle earlier on. How is the training with somebody that you're going to compete against? How does that feel?
Well, I love it. Like I generally do love it. Like even when me and Sean, when I coach Sean and we trained in the same gym together and we competed against each other, I know for me anyway, I loved it. Like I loved having, because if you're around people that are really good and really strong, you're going to get stronger. Like, I don't want to be around people that are weaker than me. I want people to come and be better. I want to be challenged. And if you're training in an environment where everybody is strong as fuck, you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So me and Kyle's been best mates for a long time. And me and Kyle have been training together for a very, very, very long time. And I get the most out of Kyle and he gets the most out of me. Obviously, I coach Kyle and have helped him progress. But Kyle has probably helped me as much as I've helped him. And Kyle doesn't coach me just by being there and just being that support network. And, you become who you surround yourself with. And Kyle's the best in the world. You're not made a better person than Kyle. Kyle would do anything for his mate. And I would like to think I'm the same. If you're in my friend circle or in my client group of friends, I will go above and beyond to make sure you succeed. So I love competing with my friends. And again, it comes down to the mentality of the person. So if Kyle was the one iron strongest man and I didn't win, I'd be delighted for him. I would be disgusted for myself, but I would be so happy for Kyle. The same like when me and Sean, I coached Sean. If Sean ever would have beat me, I would have been delighted for him. Like last year at OSG, my client like Hein came third, and I was going through such a horrible, really hard time of depression. A flop at the comp, I had a horrible time, and I still stood, and me and Nick cried on one of their arms. I was just so happy. Nick came third. So you have to put you as a person, you have to put your own feelings aside in those situations. And if I think if you can't be happy for someone else that you love and care about or are close to, there's a lot about you as a person. So for me personally, if someone else beats me that I love and care about, or is it in my friend circle, man, I'll do backflips with them. I don't, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm disappointed I didn't win, but your mate just won Iron Strongest Man. How could you not be happy?
Well, I suppose we'll see on the day. You might win the comp. If you don't win, and Kyle does come ahead of you, we get to see some backflips. So that'll be good as well. The athlete list. Obviously, we've had a couple of people drop out, and Pa doesn't look like he's going to be competing as well. I know when we were at OSG in Galway, when we chatted afterwards, you mentioned that you were a little bit disappointed with, to a point, the athletes that had turned up, and not directly at the athletes that turned up, but some that didn't turn up. How do you see the athlete list or the roster for this competition?
Same again. A few boys bitching out because they're scared to compete against who's the best. There's a couple of guys that should be there that aren't there, that have pulled out. They can give whatever excuse they want, but that's what it is. It's an excuse. If you want to be Iron Strongest Man, if you want to be a pro strongman, nothing else should be coming first. I don't care what it is. That's just that. If you pulled out, don't respect you as an athlete at all. Especially if you've pulled out of numerous comps or tried to avoid numerous comps and made excuses for it. You're not the strongman you think you want to be if you're pulling out of comps, and that's just that. Like.
So getting something a little bit more lighter. Lighter. Somebody did actually ask on Instagram. I was asking for people if they wanted to ask you any questions. And one of the questions that did come in was a random one, but how do you feel, or how do you look at people that switch between strongman and powerlifting quite regularly? This actually came in from somebody that does this, and they just want what your point of view is on that.
I will not be liked by powerlifters for saying this, but strongmen can bounce in and out of powerlifting comps as and when they please. I'm not saying they're going to do well, but the basic fundamentals of those movements are all involved within strongman training anyway. So you're squatting, you're doing some sort of squat variation year round, you're deadlifting year round. Benching not so much, but most strongmen have a strong bench naturally from all the overhead work. And if you look at some of the powerlifting records, Graham Hicks, Lawrence Shelley, Thor, they've just walked in and took them records. I've only competed in powerlifting twice now, and I think within the top, the under 110, I'm the top 15 lifters in Ireland, without a full prep. So I think a strongman can 100% bounce in at any time. Going from powerlifting to strongman, as a powerlifter to strong, there's a lot more to learn. It's a very versatile sport. You can 100% do both. I think I think a powerlifter, like a full-time powerlifter, would definitely benefit from doing some strongman stuff. I think there would be a little bit of carryover. The carryover from powerlifting to strongman, I don't know. There's not much. It's just the basic fundamentals. But I think you can 100% do both. But if you want to excel at one, unless you're a God-gifted talent like Graham Hicks or Hafþór Björnsson, you're going to have to focus on one of them. And I respect powerlifters a lot. I love competing in powerlifting, but strongman's 100% harder. There's more to do, more to be prepared for. So I think it's again, I mean, no disrespect. I have a lot of respect for powerlifters. Lads who can squat 400 kilos and deadlift the same with no straps blows my mind. Like Jesse Moran, for example, the weights Jesse can pull and push at his body weight are fucking mental. But there's just more to do for strongman. I think sort of blabbed on there. But I think if you want to be good at something, you need to focus on one thing, and that's regardless of what it is. If you want to be really, really, really good at something, you have to do the one thing, and that's it. If you want to just bounce in between, you need to just be okay with just being okay.
Sure, Buckley will love that answer, so he will. So I imagine going into this comp, I tended to, or I was going to ask every athlete what their target was. Was it that first place? Was it podium? What was it? I think you've already answered that, where you're going for that first place.
100%. I'll not lie. When I first seen the events come out, when I say I don't care about who's competing against me or what they're capable of, I don't, because I believe in myself. But as an experienced athlete, like especially the 105 scene, like the top 10 in the world, we're always competing against each other. So tactically, you can look at a set of events and you can sort of work out who's good at what. So when I first looked at the lineup that was first announced, I looked at this and I was like, this is going to be fucking hard because of the way the events are laid out. But I really want to win. I really feel like I can win. Training's going really well. And I personally feel like I'm the most well-rounded athlete that's going. There's everybody has one event that's a week event. I just personally feel like my week event's not as weak as other guys' week events because I've been working really hard on the yoke. But that being said, it could go terribly on the day, but I'm trying my best not to. I feel as if I can stay in the top half of the table on the yoke, I think I'm very confident with the rest of the events, especially with how log training has went. I really thought log would be something, just because I hadn't been training it a lot heavy. I thought maybe a few guys would outpress me, but I put 165 up this week and it felt really, really easy. So I really feel like I'm really excited. I'm excited to compete against the guys competing. There's such a fucking great lineup of lads there. As I say, I'm disappointed a couple lads have pulled out. I hope Pa comes. I don't know what he's doing. I really hope he competes. He has to defend his title. And then again, just going back to the respect thing I talked about before, there's so many people talking shit about Pa, and I don't know why. Pa has achieved a lot in the country. He's by far the most successful athlete here. The guys that are chatting shit about him have never came close to beating him. If Pa shows up to this comp at like 90%, he will probably smash everything in his path. That being said, he's definitely beatable. And I would love the chance to go head to head and compete against him and try and take the title.
I think it's one of those things that it all depends on the day. It's the sort of sport that anything
100%.
100%.
And then I think for me anyway, if I want Ireland's strongest man and Pa doesn't compete, you're not really Ireland's strongest man. You have to beat the best to be the best. So that's my, because even I talk about the 105 scene, I talked about it on the last time we did this, like Robert Clark, when I came along, was the guy to beat at 105, and I've never got to beat him. So for me, Robert's still the best at 105 of the Ireland's team. He's all my respect, and Pa's the same. So I think, I don't understand the shit talk side of all these things.
And getting away from this comp, just for going forward, you've obviously got OSG Worlds coming up in December. You're still planning to go to that?
Yes, full send. Prepping for both has been been fine. The only difference in the events is like we've got a log at this irons and a yoke. Everything else sort of carries over because there's a deadlift at OSC, bear in mind it's the deadlift ladder, and then there's a loading medley of some sort at OSC, and there's stones. So I'm training the two like for like. So yeah, I'm really excited for OSG as well. Again, obviously, really want to win that, and I feel with the events and how training's going, I'm always in with the chance of winning at 105. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited for the lineup because we've talked this before loads of times on other podcasts about 105s. You very rarely get the top 10 in the world to compete against each other. There's always somebody missing, and this year, the top 10, apart from Zuri, who is injured, the top 10 we're all there. Everybody's there. So it's going to be, and that's what I love. So that's what I don't understand about the guys that pull out of comps because they see a tough lineup. That gets me fucking going. Like, you want to compete against the guys who are the best. Because how do you know how good you are until you do that? It's easy to pick comps and it's easy to wonder. Like last year's Static Monsters, there was literally a guy that changed categories because I was in the other category. That's not a strongman. You want to take the best out, or at least if you're like my first year at OSG, I get invited to OSG like 4 or 5 times, but I didn't accept my invite because it was like I'm not going to America to try and scrape the top 10. I wanted to go when I had a chance of doing well, and I was like, right, okay, this is my year to see how close I am or how far away I am, and I ended up coming fourth, and that was like, right, okay, this is getting serious now. And then I went to class, I came second, and you don't know until you know.
And just very quickly for next year, is there anything specific you're targeting? Like, is there any records that you're going for, or is it just to really focus on the same comps but do better?
The goals, obviously, I want to get see how this goes. I want to get the Giants Live Britons. The Shaw Classic has a 105 category next year. I'll be going to that. PSL or Clash, whatever it's called now, I'm not too sure about that anymore. Things have just got kind of weird with the setup and stuff, so I'm not sure. I will definitely do a lot of the Ultimate Strongman 105 comps. They put the way they treat their athletes internationally is amazing. Like, everything's, all you pay for is a flight, hotels, food, everything's covered. It's amazing. It's a good experience. So I've been to Paris, Czech Republic, and Germany with those guys, and I've loved it. It's been great. And then you're getting to compete against the Europeans, because a lot of the Europeans don't go to America just because of financial reasons. So you get to compete against a different kind of athlete, and the Europeans are fucking strong guys. And then OSG, obviously. But I have said now that, like, I've competed a lot this year, so I'll get these 2 comps with me, and I'm definitely due like an off season or a break because I've obviously been a gym owner and an online coach of lots of business goals, and then there's a thing they talk about, like a man's life. It's like a triangle. So you've got like your family life, like your gym life, like what we do, strongman, and business. And you can only have 2 things in a triangle doing really well at one time. And for a long time now, it's, the strongman's really been the top of the triangle. So I think, I say this now, but I'm going to try for like the start of next year to have that be not part of the triangle for a while and just really stay in business hard. I just focus on the kids and family and my wife and stuff. So
for anybody that does want to keep track of you on social media, I think Instagram is probably the best place for them to do that.
Yeah, Instagram. So MK Coaching on Instagram. That's where you follow all my content. That's the coaching page as well. If you want to follow the gym page or come train the gym, MK Strength and Fitness. We're open 24/7. We have a website as well, mkstrengthandfitness.com. So be sure to give us a follow. And then follow I put a lot of educational content out on my Instagram. So if you want to learn some stuff or get some free information about training or nutrition, give me a follow.
And we'll put all those links in the description below. So don't worry if you missed any of them. Just have a look in the description and you can click on over. But definitely give Matt a follow. Thanks very much for joining us for the chat, Matthew. And looking forward to just a little over 2 weeks' time, seeing you go up against everyone else and see who comes out on top.
I can't wait. Thanks for having me as well.